The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has deployed its standby force to the Republic of Benin with immediate effect. Now, ECOWAS says the regional force shall be made up of troops from Nigeria, the Republic of Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, and of course, Ghana. On Sunday, soldiers in Benin appeared on television to announce that they had removed President Patrice Talon from power. The country's interior ministry shortly announced that the coup did not succeed. So let's get more on this and speak to Mukhtar Mumuni. Mukhtar, who is a security analyst. Glad you could join us this morning. Are you surprised with the response of ECOWAS? That was quite swift, would you say? Kindly unmute your microphone so we can hear you. Hello, Mukhtar. We're trying to get connection to Mukhtar Mumuni. Mukhtar, who is a security analyst there. We're discussing the attempted coup that happened in neighboring Benin. And I understand we have him back on the line. If you can kindly unmute your microphone for me, I'll be glad. Mukhtar, can you hear me now?
Hello, I can hear you clearly.
Right. Now, ECOWAS has been very swift with this attempted coup. We heard of Nigeria deploying soldiers to the place to monitor the airspace of Benin. Now we understand that even Ghana is also supporting to ensure that this coup, which foiled, does not succeed or anything like that ever happens again. What do you make of the attempted coup that took place in Benin yesterday?
Well, in the estimation of many watchers and analysts within the space, the coup or attempted coup situation in Benin comes as quite a surprise to many people. Many did not see this coming, because if you consider the various variables in terms of the vulnerabilities for coups, of course, no nation is immune to coup in this particular space. But Benin came to many as a surprise. The last incident of a successful coup was in about 1972. Throughout this period, we haven't seen the conditions that create the environment for coups or vulnerabilities for coups in a way that we see in many of the countries that have experienced coups in recent times. Many of these countries that have had coups appear to be plagued by serious situations of underdevelopment and prolonged pervasive situations of insecurity. They all rank very low in the Human Development Index. And so this is not surprising at all in the case of these other countries in the last 4 coup situations. So Benin comes to many as a surprise. In fact, in very recent times, I have frequented Benin, and in particular, Cotonou. And anyone who has been to Benin in the last couple of years, and the last 6 years in particular, would be very, very impressive and have very commendable accounts in terms of the progress the country has made in terms of development. But a striking feature for many has been the issue of repressive government, actions. We, pick information relating to many who have been in prison or in jail because of criticisms of the government. So those situations exist in that space. If you look at the profile of Benin, it's a very youthful population,
right.
Nothing extraordinary from the other countries. Over 65% of the entire population being youthful. And if you notice the wave of, the things that look attractive in this decade, young people appear to have developed some goodwill for coup situations. And of course, we all know the context in which we're dealing with this. And so those are the things that appear to resonate with what has happened in Benin. Other than that, is a huge surprise to many.
Let's talk about the immediate response from ECOWAS, beginning with neighboring Nigeria. We understand that they were monitoring the airspace of Benin yesterday. And of course, the president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, tweeted that they tried to protect democracy in Benin. But not long ago, Benin changed their constitution to increase the years that a president can rule from 5 to 7 years. We never heard a word from ECOWAS. We never heard anything from ECOWAS. And then an attempted coup comes and ECOWAS reacts proactively. Do you think that ECOWAS is very lackadaisical when it comes to what people would term as, trying to hold on to power for so many years through flawed democracies? They are very silent on that, but they are really quick to act when it comes to coups or attempted coups.
Well, what we're seeing in Benin is a very, very interesting development in many parts. And so in one breath, we are seeing ECOWAS in concert with Nigeria stepping in a very timely manner to prevent a potentially perilous situation, not only in terms of fiscal security, but in terms of undermining capacity for democracy within West Africa. We are significantly challenged now when it comes to the sustainability of democracy. So any other additional country that goes through the path of military rule or coup situation, it would be a huge, huge undermining, situation. So ECOWAS's intervention together with Nigeria in the lead role is very, very commendable. In fact, this is the kind of intervention or an approach, a mechanism that we envisioned or expected when it came to the talk about a standby force for ECOWAS and intervening in situations like this. Like we saw in the last case, success in the case of Gambia. And so we expected to see this kind of mechanism in a very proactive way to save the situation when something like that happens. But at the same time, we're seeing ECOWAS repeat certain things that clearly undermines its capacity as a regional force in charge of security. The capacity to be proactive in addressing the foundations and underpinnings of coups is clearly absent. We saw what we just analyzed in terms of the changing of the constitution from 5 years to 7 years. That's a constitutional coup. And ECOWAS appears to be silent on those. We've seen situations similar to this in the case of Togo. We've seen situations like that in the case of Cote d'Ivoire. And ECOWAS has not been present in terms of addressing them. So I think that ECOWAS, clearly needs to re-engineer an approach that shows that they are capable and that they are fully in charge of regional security and stability in West Africa.
Mukhtari, just from 2020 till 2025, we've seen more than half a dozen of successful coups in West Africa alone. How volatile is the region to coup?
Well, this is not new to anyone. This is not a surprise to anyone who has been working in this space. The entire West Africa is under siege. Democracy is under siege. And it's clearly a manifestation of, the frustrations of young people, the anguish of the citizens who have lost faith in the capacity of their government to provide what I've been calling the entitlements of citizenship. The issues of youth unemployment, issues of services, social services, and provision of infrastructure, and mechanisms that allow young people to succeed in terms of their ambitions or aspirations. These things are lacking, and they continue to be vulnerable within this space. You notice, young people today are not young people of yesterday. The young people are not only desperate, but are more ambitious than before. They are ambitious, they are desperate, and they are not patient. They're looking for things that are, that exist elsewhere for young people. Technology has allowed young people in the coast of West Africa to aspire for same things in London, in Paris, in New York, because technology and internet allows them to see what young people elsewhere are enjoying. And yet, our governments are not structured to provide a foundation that allows them to succeed. So our governments need to re-engineer. They need to summon a new approach to leadership to ensure we build that future that young people desire within West Africa.
And finally, Mukhtari, we're seeing a united ECOWAS trying to help the situation in Benin. Do you think they're doing that? The countries that are doing that, including Ghana, are scared that because of how volatile the region have been, if they do not prevent what is happening in Benin from being successful? It could spread to their countries. Could that be the reason why they're so united in ensuring that this coup does not succeed?
I mean, I've been very impressed by the swift response of ECOWAS together with the partners within West Africa in this situation. And I think that we need to consolidate that kind of response mechanism into a system that, exists for all situations of instability or coup situations in West Africa.
Okay.
Of course, they are significantly informed by the imminent threat that it poses to their various countries if that coup stays or stands. And so clearly it's a product of the the potential threat that it exposes them to, and the fact that if we have that situation stand, it would mean that over 40% of that space of West Africa is in the hands of military-style leadership.
Right.
That should be a huge worry for all of us. And I think that ECOWAS on this occasion must be very, commended for what they have done.
Mutari Mumuni Mukhtar, thank you very much. He's a security analyst joining us this morning on the situation in Benin.